On October 30th, 1998, the niece to the heir of the Guinness fortune, a woman named Rose Nugent, was in England celebrating her mom's birthday. I guess Rose wanted to do something special for her mom's celebration. She's like, what should I do? I don't know. It was said that she was like very skilled when it came to riding horses, and it was like her passion in life. She was a horse girl. She offered to drive guests to her mother's birthday in a horse-drawn caravan, which is like, it's like a horse carriage, but just nicer. I know, it's the 90s. Like when you hear the horse-drawn caravan, I'm thinking like, oh, it must be the 1800s. No, this was in the 90s. So, you know, rich people, huh? So that afternoon, she was like driving the caravan along a peaceful countryside road on her way to like pick people up. And with her, she actually had her dog. He's in the little caravan too. So multiple people from town recall seeing her riding the caravan, and she was like waving at them and letting them pass. Normal shit. But then, I guess something spooked Rose's horse. And you know, when it gets spooked, it just like took off, galloping full speed down a hill. The horse just went like crazy. And Rose tried to stay calm as she was like grabbing the reins, you know? But the horse was too freaked out and headed straight for a bend in the road. Uh-oh. So Rose like lost control of the horse and she was thrown from the caravan. So she was just thrown out there, and then the caravan actually runs her over and she's crushed to death. On her mom's birthday? So it took 7 men to like pick up the caravan and like pull her body from it. It's just, oof. Her death completely shocked the town, especially like since Rose was so experienced with horses. Her death was just kind of considered a freak accident. And the media was all over it. They were publishing headlines like, never-ending curse of the Guinness dynasty. In all caps, like yelling at you. And you're like, okay. And then people wondered, like, when the hell this curse was gonna end? Or was it gonna end? Most of the Guinness family deaths at this point were tied to their partying, their wealth, and even their influence that the family gained over generations. John Henry Guinness, the next victim of this family curse. On April 8th, 1986, John Henry Guinness arrived home to find his wife Jennifer and one of his daughters tied up by masked men. Jennifer had been pistol whipped and, you know, terrified for her life. So when John enters, he was like immediately tied up by the men. And apparently another business associate of his showed up at the house. So the gunmen, they tied him up too. So the gunmen then kidnapped Jennifer and told John they would return her after he paid the ransom, which was £2 million. So after they left, the police were called, and they got to work attempting to find Jennifer and like these men who kidnapped her. So while Jennifer was being held captive, she like pleaded with the kidnappers over and over again, telling them her husband was not in the direct line to inherit the Guinness fortune. She told him like there's no way he could pay the millions of dollars in ransom. So she's like, you got the wrong person. I mean, who knows if that was true, but she, you know, she was trying. She has a Guinness last name. Like the captors didn't listen to Jennifer, and they kept her in captivity for 8 days. So she was finally found after a neighbor recognized Jennifer when she was being taken into a home by her captors. So the story of the kidnapping was like all over the news. And when the police showed up to free Jennifer, it turned into like an all-night hostage situation. Eventually, they were able to get Jennifer out, and they got her kidnappers, and they were convicted. So you're probably thinking, like, is it really a curse if Jennifer survived in the end? Well, only 2 years after the kidnapping, John Henry Guinness was with Jennifer and their children on a walk in northern Wales. And John apparently like lost his footing, and he like fell 3,000 feet off of Mount Snowdon. And after surviving her kidnapping, Jennifer and her children watched John like tragically fall to his death. Jeez. So it's like, hey, I mean, like, what's going on with the Guinness family today? I mean, are they still cursed? So one of the current faces of the Guinness family is Daphne Guinness. She's known as an icon of the fashion and beauty industry. But I guess her childhood was like filled with the same darkness as many of her family members. When she was 5 years old, Daphne was taken hostage by a family friend named Tony. Tony was at Daphne's home looking for his own mother, who, was friends with Daphne's mother. Both of the moms were together out to lunch that day. So Tony, he was like a family friend, so they didn't really think much of like letting him inside the house and like roam around. But as soon as Tony saw Daphne, he pulled out a knife and like held it to her throat. Tony was 25 at the time, so he could physically overpower Daphne. He began walking through the house saying he wanted to kill all the women. And the family's housekeeper, I guess, like jumped in and like tried to save her. And I guess it works because Tony eventually left the house and he actually ended up killing his own mother the next day. I don't know. I guess you could say Daphne was just like another victim of the Guinness family curse, but maybe she was the one that actually broke it. Even though her family's wealth is what like put her in danger, it was kind of like the thing that actually saved her too. So Daphne became like a major player in the world of London fashion. She was good friends with Alexander McQueen. She worked as a Gucci consultant and created her own makeup lines with NARS and MAC. Plus, she's done like a lot of charity work throughout the UK. And she once said, quote, "Life is a comedy and tragedy in equal parts. And the main thing is to try to pick yourself up and to create something that's worthwhile out of it." I know, I was trying to do like the math on how many Guinness family members and friends died under this quote unquote curse. Look, after 12, you stop counting. And that's like just the family. It's not counting other people in like their inner circles. It's really freaky. But throughout their like history, the Guinness family has been known for more than just their tragedies or political influence or even beer. From the days of Arthur Guinness, they have always been charitable. I mean, we know that they gave back to Ireland when they helped with the reconstruction of St. Patrick's Cathedral, but they also funded a medical research institute at Trinity College. And on top of that, family members from every generation have also donated to hospitals, universities, and so much more. And they've even made it like a point to take a stand when it comes to equal rights. In 2014, Guinness even pulled out of financially supporting the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade. But they did so because they want to show solidarity with the LGBTQIA plus community. Apparently the parade banned any pride organizations from like participating in the parade. Lame. Guinness like made a point to publicly stop or drop its funding. And then surprise, surprise, the following year, the parade changed its mind when Guinness started funding it again. So yeah, seems like they're doing their part. A lot of people today just kind of like talk about the Guinness family curse. I mean, I just did. Hi. It kind of just feels like a made-up story that you'd hear about in, like, some kind of, like, I don't know, scary book or something, or a B movie. But with as much power and influence as this family has had for centuries, maybe it isn't surprising that they've dealt with, like, this much crap.